welcome back to the Marking Properties YouTube channel, where we talk all things property market, hints and tips, and so much more. Today we're going to be talking about selling an empty property before winter and also how you can winter-proof it before the colder months set in. So if you're ready, let's get to it. As we approach the colder and winter months, which honestly I know it seems quite premature, but actually the way this year is going, it is creeping up on us so quickly. It's very important to make sure that your home is winterproofed, and it's no exception when it comes to an empty property. It can be quite easy to overlook a vacant property and not give it the vital and essential maintenance that it needs to keep it in the best condition, especially if you hope to sell it on after winter or during the winter months, and to avoid some winter damage that can occur if these steps are not put into place. So we're going to give you some hints and tips on how you can make sure that your property can withstand the cold months. Number 1, keep the property, and in particular the water pipes, as warm as you can. Now there are 3 options in which you can do this, and it all depends on your budget and what you feel comfortable in doing and what you're able to do. But the first option is to have the thermostat on 24 hours a day, but keep it at a very low temperature. The gas and electric companies recommend about 12 degrees, which is an uncomfortable temperature to live in, but actually it's just about enough to keep the property at an even temperature to prevent any winter damage in the pipes. The second option is to have the heating come on via a timer at the 2 coldest parts of the day, so the early hours and then the evening hours. We would suggest a temperature of around 14 degrees, because what this will do is it will keep the temperature above freezing, but it wouldn't be comfortable to live in. It will be still very cold, but it will make sure that no winter damage is likely to take place. And another side tip is to make sure that you open the cupboard underneath the sink to expose the plumbing and the pipes to make sure that the warm air that's circulating reaches that all important area. And thirdly, if you're unable to have the heating come on at all while the house is unoccupied, then a good idea is to drain down the water pipes. Now what this will do is it will make sure that no water, or at least less water, is sat in the pipes freezing, which will obviously minimize the chance of them bursting. And if the severe cold does damage the pipes, it's unlikely that that will be because of water damage. Another concern that you may have if the heating is not able to come on is the risk of condensation. Now, apart from condensation looking unsightly and causing damage in itself to the windows, the sills, the ceilings, condensation can lead to a property not being very inviting for both tenants and potential buyers. Tip number 3 is to open the hatch of the loft. Now, as we all know, warm air rises, and you want to make sure that that warm air is circulating throughout the home as much as possible. So just leave the loft hatch open, and that will help make sure that the house temperature is a little bit more even and as warm as possible. Number 4 is to improve your home security system, and by this you can invest in things such as security systems, alarms, video doorbells, CCTV. You could perhaps speak to neighbours that you have a good relationship with, or perhaps join a neighbourhood watch scheme where they can keep their eye on the property, and perhaps even in some cases pop the heating on for you a couple of times a day. If they live next door and you're comfortable enough to leave a key, they might be happy just to go in and switch the boiler on for a couple of hours and then go and shut it off. It's just something to think about. But would-be thieves are far more likely to take advantage and break into an empty property. So make sure that you check doors, windows, padlocks, and secure outhouses and sheds as well. Any storage boxes that you may have. It's also worth considering investing in timers for your lights, and make sure that you visit the property as regularly as possible so it doesn't look vacant. Another thing that we would mention is to not leave any food in the property at all. This is something that you may not have considered, but you might end up getting some unwanted guests in regards to foxes, birds, rats. We've seen many a property that has had rat infestations, and it is not pleasant, and it's because properties have been left vacant, they've had food left in them, and of course, animals find a way, they always do, they're like water. So make sure that you're leaving nothing in the property that is going to invite any unwanted furry friends. Number 5, and this is possibly one of the most important things that you would need to do, inform your insurance company that the property is vacant. And this is for a few reasons. Number one, you want to make sure that they pay out on your insurance if there was an issue. If the property is left unoccupied for 30 days or more, then you will most likely have to apply for a different type of insurance, which is commonly known as unoccupied insurance. This will have different stipulations, so make sure that you check out your policy, but in a lot of cases, they will have ways in which they require you to look after the property and take care of it to make sure that your insurance is valid. And they will have specific stipulations when it comes to the winter and colder months as well. So make sure that your insurance is up to date and that your insurance company knows that it is an unoccupied or empty property. And there you have it. Those are our top tips when it comes to winter-proofing your house before the colder months set in. Now, if you are thinking about selling an empty property before the winter hits and you have to deal with all of this potential hassle and cost, consider selling to a professional cash buyer like Marking Properties. We can give you a fast cash offer for your property if you live in South Wales. I'll put all of our information in the description box down below, so make sure you go check that out. Comment down below if you have any questions to ask and I'll make sure Mark answers those for you. But thanks for watching.